Love to see
All right, Brad and Trevor. They're going number one.
Make me proud, Trev.
The Bears are on the clock, and you guys have your first pick here.
You're the Bears guy, so you tell me.
Yeah, people comping to Patrick Mahomes, which is probably unfair to Caleb Williams. I don't think it's a strong enough comp, projection going forward. No, anyway, so look.
It is.
The Bears, his
short.
floor is Mahomes' first 6 seasons. No, okay, so the Bears are going to make this move. You're going to see Fields get traded. It's been kind of bubbling on the surface this week in Vegas. People talking about it. What's the package going to look like? How are they going to pivot to the future? I think as long as Caleb Williams doesn't outright pull an Eli Manning, demand to not go there, which I don't think he will, I think he will be a Chicago Bear in about 2 months.
Caleb Williams.
So Caleb Williams is the pick, number one overall.
Yep.
What do you think the Fields compensation looks like here? With the first round rumors, is that way too high?
I don't buy that. Look, far be it from me to doubt Adam Schefter compared to what I've heard, but I just look at the list of teams that need quarterbacks still, and the supply with the draft, with free agency. I don't see a long list of teams that need his services. So if we're not bidding each other up, I don't see how it first gets required.
All right, so that puts us up on the clock, Sam.
Nice.
For Washington. The other buzz around, Radio Row and the rest of the NFL is Drake May,
right,
potentially falling and not being the lock at 2. But as new Commanders GM, Sam, is that our move?
Well, first of all, we have to decide how heavily is the model being weighed in our decision.
Is this the first mock with the laminated model?
Yeah, first mock with the laminated model.
Wow.
Wow. They won't be able to hear us.
Yeah, we're just going off vibes. They're going off the model. Right. We're just going off vibes.
We're non-QB. This is a non-QB model right now, though.
Oh, okay.
The model really says just draft all the QBs because one of them will hit.
Okay.
So
right. That's not helping.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to go by Trevor's big board. So we've got Drake May as the number 2 quarterback.
We're infiltrating their system.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be. You're a little lower on May, maybe than me, but
I mean, ultimately, if you need a quarterback, you've got to pick one of them at this spot. So it's Drake May, or do you have enough confidence in any of the others to jump Drake May?
I'm not there yet.
Right.
I'm not there in my film study or my analysis. So,
but I do think this is where that conversation of should Washington be trying to jump to 1 is coming from.
Yeah.
The fact that there might actually be a big jump between Caleb Williams and Drake May, but we didn't do that, so we're stuck with it.
We're gonna call this is gonna be trade free as well. This mock draft. So we're trying to keep it tight. So we're gonna go Drake May.
Yep.
To Washington with the number 2 overall pick, putting the New England Patriots on the clock here at 3.
Yeah, I think that May's the right pick, and obviously we'll get to the Patriots pick in a sec. But just wrote an article about Drake May, kind of defending him being a quarterback worthy of a top 3 selection, because it seems like we're starting to enter that conversation of like, oh, could he slide here? But when you look at Drake May over the last 2 years. Our stable projections really still like him a lot. And I love the fact that he attacks over the middle of the field better than even the other 2 guys. And that doesn't make him necessarily better 100%, but this guy is fearless when it comes to intermediate middle, deep middle of the field. And whenever you can attack that area, it unlocks so many things of how you can attack a defense differently. So anyways.
You broke that all down, PFF.com.
I did, yes.
Today, I believe,
yeah, good plug there. Appreciate it. New England Patriots at 3.
We said no trades. Just quick aside. I think it'd be interesting here if Patriots do say let's build out a roster, wait on the quarterback. But anyway, they also had Gerard Mayo.
Okay, hold on. I hear what you're saying, but they cannot go into next season with Mac Jones.
Correct.
Right. So are they going to bring in Kirk?
No.
Baker Mayfield's not getting out of Tampa.
Everyone in the top 15 is bringing in Kirk.
Right. Baker Mayfield's not getting out of Tampa, and. You just kind of went over the fields like, okay, like, do our teams really that high on them? So it's basically they're either drafting Jaden Daniels or they are going to start Mac Jones next year, and they're not going to start Mac Jones.
Someone's forgetting Zappy Hour hits every day on Sunday.
It's true. It's very true. It's very true.
It's easy to forget that.
It's very easy to forget that. Anyway, I think we go quarterback here.
Yeah, I think we have to. I really, until New England shows us something different, I think we have to go quarterback.
Agreed.
So let's go Jaden Daniels. We're going
chalk to start here. And now the draft begins at 4. Not really.
So you guys are going where?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels to the New England Patriots.
Triple quarterback off the board.
I'll try to do a reset every few picks here, too. Caleb Williams to the Bears, Drake May to Washington. Can you tell Le Batard, can you tell them to keep it down? Dan's over here. They got music and festivities. Keep it down?
Can I say, I caught a glimpse. Sulf over there sent in a clip, and I feel like this setup has been designed to make me look like a hobbit. I'm sitting next to you.
How do I look?
Gandalf.
What do I look like?
You look fine.
Oh no, it's a power
stance.
No, it's a power stance. We're good.
We somehow
trying to drop my knees here so I don't look as.
We've somehow taken Steve and I, who are
I'm trying to
already
look more-
Gandalf
I'm trying to
and
look more
Frodo from the
daunting.
GIF,
Sit up.
and change the perspective problem
Sit
so
up.
that I'm further away than he is.
I'll sit back.
I gotta sit 6 feet further, closer to the camera. It's
For
ridiculous.
the podcast. I'll sit up. I gotta scroll all the way down to Jaden Daniels. Okay, I got him. Jaden Daniels I'm just kidding. Jaden Daniels to the
Was he like
Patriots.
10?
No,
No, he's further than that.
11. 11.
Wow, 11.
Arizona Cardinals, and I was just kidding about Dan. You guys can do whatever you want. Have fun. Arizona Cardinals on the clock here at 4, Sam.
Yep.
Are you all in on Marvin Harrison Jr. as the best non-quarterback in this draft?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's, I think, the cleanest prospect. He's also one they're probably not going for an offensive lineman, where some of the other teams in the top 10 are desperate for offensive linemen and might make that switch because of it. The Cardinals, assuming they're going to let Marquise Brown go, they don't really have that superstar number one. So it's a need and, quality fit. It's perfect.
All right, let's do it. We're going MHJ. Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State wide receiver at 4 to the Arizona Cardinals, a weapon for Kyler Murray. He's the guy that they're building around. Remember, there was a point we thought the Cardinals might be in the QB market. Are they going to move on from Kyler Murray? But now, Marquise Brown is a free agent. Marvin Harrison Jr. becomes that number 1 wide receiver in Arizona. And that puts the Los Angeles Chargers and Jim Harbaugh on the clock.
All right, so we got the pick here at number 5, and the next 4 guys that we have on the big board are Malik Neighbors, Joe Alt, Brock Bowers, and Rome Odunze. I think that their big board basically is going to read those 4 players right there. So I think the way that they'll look at this pick is they'll be pretty lockstep with what we have as the next players that are available here. But there's a lot of different discussions. Brad, do you lean one way or the other when it comes to either the wide receivers or entertaining like tackle or Brock Bowers?
Yeah, so I do have a slight preference for Malik Neighbors. I think he is a better athlete. There's more upside there. I like Odunze. I don't see after the catch burst that you see from Neighbors. I think Neighbors is maybe just a hair less of a contested catch guy. Odunze was phenomenal this year. Late hands, late separation, stuff like that. But Neighbors can do all those things as well. So I would lean there. Also, I've heard a lot of Jim Harbaugh loves tight ends, so they're going to take Brock Bowers. I don't think he loves all tight ends. He's not just a fan of all. He might take Kate Stover in the 4th, but I don't know about Brock Bowers at 5.
Good football player.
Did you see
Kate
Brock-
Stover, good football player.
Fact.
Good football
Did
player.
you see Brock walking around?
I did.
On Media Row.
I didn't physically
his
see him.
mouth?
I saw the clips.
But
Besides
eye
Mark-
test wise, saw him. It doesn't.
Not a huge guy.
Tell your tight end stories really quick, Sam. How intimidated you feel around them?
I mean, tight ends are the one position in the NFL where when you see those people in person, you're like, okay, those are different human beings. Brock Bowers, not so much.
So here's the thing about Brock Bowers that I've been trying to kind of get people ready for when we got to this point of the year. Georgia's got him listed at 6'4", 240 pounds. Like, both of those numbers for NFL tight ends are way below 50th percentile, especially the weight.
Right.
So if he shows up around 240 pounds,
And if they're
you're
inflated.
basically yeah, right. And we think the schools lie, so he'll probably be a hair under 6'4", and he'll probably be. I think he'll be around 240 when it comes to combine time because he knows he'll have to weigh in like that.
Right.
But no question about it, this is not like a 6'5", 255-pound tight end.
No.
He's just a different type of a dude.
I mean, on the same day, Gronk is wandering around Radio Row.
Yeah.
Different size human being
Yes,
entirely.
Yes.
So not a knock on Bowers the player, but
No,
Harbaugh's
style,
playing
right,
style,
right.
inline tight end.
You have to
Yes.
see him as
Yeah.
more of a wide receiver.
Right.
He can
Yes.
play in line.
Yeah.
Pound for pound, he's pretty strong, but at the NFL level, pound for pound, kind of only gets you so
And we're going to draft him soon. We're just talking Chargers
Yep.
fit here.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do?
So I lean Malik Neighbors here. I think you probably see in LA. Mike Williams. I don't know if he's back. Even Keenan had a great year. I get that.
Right.
A legend of the franchise.
Right.
I still think there's an outside chance he's not there either. You get a elite number 1 receiver, a guy that can play at the X spot and be Justin Herbert's guy for the next hopefully decade.
All right, we're going Malik Neighbors, number 5. They put you up at 6.
Giants are up on the clock at 6. I think this is a sprint to the podium move. With Joe Alt. I think it is a sprint to the podium time for the New York Giants. You have Andrew Thomas at left tackle, Evan Neal at right tackle. And again, those, 2 out of their last 3 draft picks have been tackles. One has worked out, one has not.
Yep.
But I feel pretty good about Joe Alt.
Yeah, I think you take who you think is the best tackle and you play him at right tackle. You start him from day 1 at right tackle.
All right.
That's it. Notre Dame tackle, Joe Alt. Is he the consensus? I don't think he's the consensus top tackle necessarily, but he's got to be close, right?
He's getting there. It feels like if you were to poll people, majority would have him as offensive tackle 1. So I don't know if that is the official definition of like consensus offensive tackle 1, but he is the top offensive tackle on most boards.
Most will have him.
Yeah.
at or near the top for sure.
7, I mean, we're having the offensive line discussion here with the Tennessee Titans as well. Brad, they obviously could use wide receiver, but that offensive line just was not as good as it needed to be, and we've got a couple of good ones with Olu Fashanu and with Talize Fuaga as options for them. Do you lean one way or the other?
So I do think Fashanu this year, when I threw on the tape, this is last week, the Michigan game, Ohio State game was rough.
Yeah.
He is probably the best pass blocker in this class. Overall, not great at the second level in space as a run blocker, but good enough. I imagine Brad Callahan brings kind of, Cincinnati changed the whole run scheme this past year, but I think it's Olu Fashanu. I think they run that pick in just as quick as Joe Alt, frankly.
All right. I won't push too far back on you. The only thing that I'd say is I liked Fuaga here from the Vrabel identity of the team.
Sure.
And if that part is changing drastically in the trenches, then I could certainly see Olu Fashanu.
You calling the Titans soft now?
I'm not calling them soft. It's just Vrabel very much so emphasized, strength in the trenches. And
so much so that they're afraid to hire him.
Right, now they're afraid to hire the guy. So, no, I won't push too far back on you with Fashanu. We can go with that one.
Do you think he's a good fit? Oh, I don't know. Do you think he's a better fit in, if they keep a similar outside zone run scheme? Would you rather have Fuaga as
I
well?
already selected it, so you guys can't.
All right, never mind. Moving
It's
on.
already
Number 8,
updated
the
on my
Atlanta
mock.
Falcons at number 8. Sam and Steve. What do we got?
Good transition.
You guys
That was
can
good.
keep
You're a
keep
pro.
talking. We can keep talking about it.
Nope, shutting up.
Now, what do we do here? Do we assume that the Falcons have already gotten Kirk?
Let me text Zach real quick.
Yeah.
Let's
see what Zach says.
Let's see,
Wait,
Zach.
Kirk, I thought they were getting I thought they were
Send
getting
him the mock.
Fields.
Send him the first 7 picks.
Wait, I
Zach,
thought they-
this
I thought
is
they were
what's
getting
available
Yeah.
on the board here.
Wait, I thought they were getting Fields.
You looking for Bo? Zach's over here looking for Bo.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of scrolling, right?
I wouldn't hold your breath, bro.
That's not a lot of scrolling. Calm down over here.
It's quite a lot of scrolling.
All right, so we don't know what's happening in free agency.
Right.
We've been trying to link Kirk because he likes Atlanta and he likes domes and he likes playmakers.
Don't we all?
I'm just saying, when he's in free agency, he likes places where there's no wind or rain, and he likes places where there's good players who catch the ball.
Yeah.
There's a history here, and Atlanta has those things.
Not unreasonable requirements for a quarterback.
So maybe they get Kirk. And then you have that same question about, do you get the QB first or do you build the team? But I feel like the infrastructure is already there. So are we taking a shot on a QB here, Sam?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an either-or thing, right? If we think they've gotten the quarterback solution already, obviously they're going in a different direction. But if we can't stipulate that, then they have to draft a quarterback.
Let's operate like they're not.
Okay, well, then they have to take a quarterback because you can't go into the season with what they had last year.
Right.
Any more than the
yikes.
Patriots
I agree with you.
But we're going to get to a point, and this is the tough thing about being every team or every other team. We're going to get to a point with Denver and Raiders.
Well, we
and
already
Vikings
screwed
all
ourselves.
saying
But this
the same
is
thing.
this is the conversation that you have to have when you're doing mock drafts this year, because we just went over the free agency options. There's not many. It's Mayfield, it's Kirk Cousins,
Right.
and it's whoever's
Right.
going to trade for Justin Fields. That's it. So even with 2 of those teams acquiring 2 out of 3 of those guys because we feel like Mayfield's going to stay in Tampa, there's still a lot of QB needy teams that are out there. So you might as well go through the exercise with, man, if one of them whiffs and it happens to be this team in the top 10, what does this look like?
What I'd really rather have is Kirk Cousins in free agency, of course, and then Rome. Then add that second playmaker to go with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Then we're cooking.
Hey, it's not my
Then
show.
Zach's cooking.
It's
Okay.
not my show. So if you want to set it up that way,
The
you can.
alternative is, right, as the GM, do you say we're not getting the answer year 1 with quarterback? There isn't one. There's no good answer. 3 quarterbacks are already off the board. Somebody gave Kirk Cousins the money already. We have nobody, right?
There's other rounds.
Maybe Desmond Ridder has a year in him, and you just sell it that way. You go through a bad year, but you've drafted a good player, and next year is when you get the
We have
quarterback.
to make that call.
Everything
That's what I'm
you
saying.
just said applied to 2021. They were 3 quarterbacks that went. They went Kyle Pitts at 4. They said maybe Desmond Ridder will have a good year.
Yep.
And then they got fired.
Right. But now they're new. Now there's a new group of people.
Sure. But,
Like you have to get the buy-in of
You gotta overcorrect and
Mr.
take-
Blank. Mr.
Yeah,
Blank
Mr.
needs to
Blank.
be on board. We got to
Sure.
run it by him.
Sure.
Run it up the chain. But if Mr. Blank's on board, I think that's the way to go.
This is also a team.
To not take a quarterback because we're stuck with one.
This is
All right.
this is also a team that I think is ripe to trade up in this draft. Like they have been some behind the scenes, some not so behind the scenes, aggressive to go get a quarterback, and here they sit, they still don't have one.
Sure.
So I think you guys talk about Arthur Blank. I think he's going to be like, we better have a damn quarterback on
Right.
the roster by the first week of May.
I mean, ultimately, I don't think the Falcons let themselves get into this situation, right? Whether it's by trading up, whether it's by getting Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins, they're not going to be sitting there at 8 with their first shot at getting a quarterback.
No,
with three of them already gone.
No.
But that's the corner we've painted ourselves into.
Let's just say, too, there is a world where second-round Michael Penix or second-round J.J. McCarthy, if they're still there, we don't get desperate later as other teams, that maybe they're – so as the Falcons, do you want to make that play?
Yeah, so let's assume –
we'll look at the second round.
Let's assume Artie is on board, and we're going to pass on a quarterback.
I know we're spending a lot of time on the Falcons, but this is the struggle.
It's fine. These are the conversations people want to hear.
So I'm looking at Rome Odunze.
Yes.
You want him?
Yes.
Okay. Then that's an easy discussion.
Damn,
I like him as a compliment to Drake London, to Kyle Pitts, to Bijan.
Wrecked.
We're loading up on weapons in Atlanta. Rome Odunze at 8.
Yeah, we are.
To the Falcons.
I tried to talk him out of it.
And the Bears are up, and man, you guys sad?
Yeah,
Wide receiver two.
I'm demoralized. This is how
You
it
wanted
plays
him
out.
and Caleb.
Yeah, you want to pair him with Caleb. And else we're not doing trades. I think if the top 8 happens how we just did it, I think Chicago was trading down with someone at 9. Anyway, you've been asking me. You've been kind. You're the draft expert. You've been saying, Brad, what do you think about XYZ? Let's say the Bears do stay here. In your opinion, do you go defense? Is it too early there? Do you maybe take a Fuaga, play him at guard for a little bit, maybe becomes a tackle later on? If you're them and the consensus top 3 receivers are gone and the 2 tackles are gone, what do you think they do?
Yeah, I don't think you have to be too sad about this if you're Chicago because, you're in a situation where, yes, like you said, they could trade down, but also it is a stacked wide receiver class. Like, they will absolutely have the opportunity to get a difference maker at receiver that is not at number 9. And so I have no problem going with defense here. I've mocked Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama, here at number 9. I've done the same with Jared Verse. I would say to you, those are the 2 that I would bring to the table. And if you have a preference on one or the other, let's go with that direction.
So I would say I thought Dallas Turner put on notable weight this season. Looked much bigger.
I think he was closer to 250, yeah.
I'm not sure 250 works in Matt Eberflus's defense at DN. So he's looking for 265 plus. 4-3 DN, hand in the dirt type of guy.
Yeah.
I think that's the direction they would go.
Why not Latu in that group?
So I love Latu. I just wonder if the NFL is going to be as high on him as we are. He's without question been the best pass rusher in college football over the last couple of seasons. Insanely high pass rush grade, insanely high pass rush win percentage. The thing is that his arm length when he measured into the Senior Bowl was 13th percentile for edge rushers, and I don't think he's going to test super well at the combine. I think he's going to be a 50th percentile athlete at best. So I think the NFL is just going to be a little bit lower on him when Dallas Turner, I think, tests really well, when Jared Verse tests really well, and I just see Latu being edge 3 in this draft, whether it's right or not.
And that's assuming all the medicals check out as well.
Yeah, and I think he'll be okay there. You got 2.
But he did medically retire at one point in his career.
Yeah.
He did, yeah, but it was kind of a situation where, Washington wasn't really comfortable with it, but he kind of still believed, hey, I'm going to get this surgery. It's not like he medically retired and was like, damn, that's it for me. I got to talk to him in the Senior Bowl, and he kind of was like, when they medically retired me, I was like, okay, let me still try to find some other options here because I still think that there's a path for me to continue to play. And so it wasn't as dire as he medically retired sounds like it can be.
It's more to the story that you found at the Senior Bowl.
Right.
Good.
That's true.
Well done.
That's true. So anyway, we're going Jared Verse here at number 9.
Love it.
Heavy-handed pass rusher, 5-tech defensive end. Getting him opposite Montez Sweat. I mean,
There you go.
Really
That's
nice
a duo right there.
Yep.
That's the first defensive player on the board, and I don't think we're unique in that situation. This draft or PFF, there's a lot of draft experts talking about first 7, 8, 9, 10 picks being offense, just the way things are falling.
It's that age, right? I mean, look at all of the offensive coordinators that are at the top of the list when it comes to head coaching hires. And we've talked about this before. These defensive head coaching candidates have to come into these meetings with, okay, give us who your offensive coordinator would be, and then give us who your second offensive coordinator would be when they get poached a year later if we have success. So it's just that's where we are right now. Offense. And so I think you're going to see that in the NFL draft.
All right, Jets are up on the clock at number 10. Another team almost certainly looking at offense after a year where the defense carried them. Aaron Rodgers coming back. How are we going to help Aaron here with some of those top receivers off the board, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know if the Jets would love this spot if the first 9 picks unfolded this way. We've already lost 3 wide receivers. We've lost the top 2 tackles off the board as well. I think with Aaron Rodgers coming back, I think the wide receiver room is fine. I think they desperately need to repair that offensive line.
I'm with you.
And that probably means Fuaga at right tackle.
Fuaga at right tackle from Oregon State.
Yeah,
Where is he?
baby.
Number 12 on the PFF draft board right now. And I think that's the play.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And he'll step right in, play right tackle here. Protect Aaron Rodgers' sometimes blindside when he throws left. Because that's what right tackles do. They protect the blind side some of the time, depending on where the read goes.
Yeah.
I love Fuaga, so I love that pick. I've done that connection many times, so I think you guys.
I think that will be a common one, especially if Alton, Fashanu are off the board.
I don't think it's a guarantee that Fashanu's not on the board at this point, but still, I think the debates between Talise Fuaga and Olu Fashanu are going to be
Fashanu
fierce.
In the middle of the first in some other people's
Yeah,
mocks
right.
and things now,
I think there are teams in the league that are worried about how he deals with power.
But they're very different. Like, those are almost different schemed players.
Yeah,
like
yeah, a
the
little
teams
bit.
that are going to love Fashanu are probably not going to love Fuaga and vice versa.
Yeah. I agree with you.